Hi, welcome to the Soundjack How to Get Started tutorial. First thing I'd like to explain is latency. Latency is measured in milliseconds. 1 millisecond is the amount of time it takes for sound to travel 1 foot. Now, if we're hardwired to our computers, how is that relevant? Well, it's only relevant because we need some sort of some way to gauge, what the latency is going to feel like in the real world. So everything that we try to do, if you're going to try to jam over the internet, is to try to reduce that latency so that the experience is more pleasant. And the first thing that you want to do is don't use a wireless card of any sort. It doesn't matter. It adds anywhere from 50 to 150 milliseconds of latency, and that is just, it's not good. It won't make the experience will not be good. And on top of that, if you use a wireless card, it tends to have a lot of dropouts for the other people. It may be fine for you, but for everyone else, they're saying, you're choppy, you're dropping out, and that's because you're on a wireless. So just note to yourself, somehow get your computer hardwired right to a router or a network switch. Just as long as it's hardwired, that doesn't matter. The next thing is you need to get some sort of a low latency audio device. In this day and age, they are just dirt cheap. You can find them anywhere. And I have some examples here of some low latency audio devices. First thing I have here is the UCA 202. These are right around 30 bucks. And they natively support what's called the ASIO driver, which is an audio streaming input-output. And it was designed by Steinberg. Next thing here, I have a Zoom guitar effects pedal. See, it's got a USB on the bottom of it. Which also, comes native with ASIO driver support. I have a Alesis Multimix Firewire 16, which has Firewire ports on it. All these are very low latency devices. One thing that you don't want to do is just try to hook your guitar right into the input of your sound card. Sound cards have huge amounts of latency to begin with. These devices run anywhere from about 5 to 10 milliseconds of latency, which is, very minimal. So that's a very good thing as far as your hardware is concerned. So next thing you'll need to do is just, get yourself a nice piece of hardware that will do this. Like I said, this is about 30 bucks. This one here, the UCA 202. The good thing about this device is that it's got some RCA ins and outs on it. You can actually pair them up with your mixer. If you have a mixer that doesn't have any internet on it, then you can use all the channels of your mixer and run it right to the UCA 202. This is made by Behringer. This is probably the cheapest way to go as far as getting a hardware device to get you going. So that's basically it. Oh, the third and last thing is a set of headphones. Headphones, like I said earlier, that if you're sitting, 10 feet away from your speakers, you get 10 milliseconds of latency. Well, most people are sitting at least 4 to 6 feet away from their speakers, and you figure that it's 4 to 6 feet for the sound to travel to your hearing, and then of course you have to respond to it. So it adds a lot of latency. But having headphones will knock off that 4 to 6 milliseconds of latency there. So I guess if you're in a perfect world, like I jam with a guy in California a lot, and he's a couple thousand miles away, and we have about 50 milliseconds of latency. It's pretty big, but we can deal with it because it's not real bad. Now, if I get somebody within 200-300 miles of me, it's great. It's just like they're in the room with me. I might only have 20 milliseconds. It's like they're 20 feet away from me. So this stuff can work over the internet as long as you have a hardwired internet connection, an ASIO audio device, which most devices support ASIO drivers, low latency drivers, and a set of headphones. And other than that, you're pretty good to go. So anyway, I hope to see you guys on Soundjack, and take care.